All right. So this is part four. Speak now. Till now, we spoke about what good communication looks like and how to stand out. But when it comes to actually speaking, this is where most people struggle. You know what you want to say, but when you say it, it doesn't come out the same way. It feels weak, uncertain. That's the gap. This part is about fixing that. Say it with your chest. Speak clearly. Stand behind your words. No overthinking, no softening. In this video, we will try to understand and we will try to make that and we will try to find out your voice, remove hesitation, and speak with confidence that people can feel. So let's start with that. The infinity journey. If you are trying to find your voice, then you are wasting your time. Not only is your time being wasted, but it also the wrong goal to say it in the first place. Imagine Johnny lose his phone. What will be the first thing he does? Obviously, he is going to look for it. When he finds it, what is he is going to do the next? Nothing. He found his phone. This act of finding something is great with physical product. However, with communication skills, this lead to fixed and passive mindset. The goal is to create your voice. There is no deadline for that. Creating your voice is a continuous active process that requires the process of externalization. Before you run away, the word externalization is a straightforward and to the point. It is the process of taking what is in and bringing it out. Excellent communicators need to start somewhere. Externalizing something is it is most difficult than it initially seems. But wait, you are with yourself all the time. What could possibly be so difficult but putting your thoughts and feelings into words? That's actually the sole reason it's a difficult. It is easy to microanalyze others because our ego is not involved as much, which is why a lot of toxic people can give beautiful advice to others while their life is in shambles. The process of externalizing causes us to come face to face with ourselves. In the process, we learn the peak and valley of who we are as a person. Here is the thing about guys like you and me. I don't know, maybe you are politician. Let's assume that you are not. If you are not a politician, you don't have a standard talking point at the moment that you rest upon, which means that you need to do the hard work yourself. You need to create your talking point. This part of the book is going to help you understand what you stand for so you can build a foundation bedrock of ideas, insight, and stories. Signal to noise ratio. You ever had a moment when you were listening to a great song on a radio and were singing along to it too? Doing some visualization and envisioning your grandest self. Don't lie, I know you were. As you continue to drive, the song became diluted and it started to pick up more static. As you drove further, your precious song disappeared and now all you heard was the static. What went on? This is a live look of the signal no noise ratio. The signal represents the song and the noise represents the static. Signal equals to meaning, noise equals to fluff. Articulation skills are built from strengthening the signal and reducing the noise. The bolded line above seems a little too simple. Someone may be like, no, there is has to more than that. No, improve your signal and reduce the noise. In your situation, the signal represent your ideas. What do you stand for and how or who are you as a person? The noise represent meaningless mental chatter, replying what if scenario from the past, replying entertainment that you consume, etc. When you ask someone who they are, the first thing they say, like a parrot, is their name or their job title. These answers are not wrong, but it's very surface level. In case of where you can sort of hear the song in the car, but there is a ton of static. Get clearer, clearer, even a bit clearer. The process of adding nonsense to pretexting ideas is when the signal starts to radiate like fire. During the process of signal, overpowering the noise. That's when a person is capable of putting the idea in front of themselves. Plenty of people communicate to show how they know it all. You ask them what they are even saying, and they look at you like you have a three heads, as if the goal of the communication is to turn their mouth. That's why they lose. On the other hand, there is another group of people who speak like they don't want to a voice full of resistance. This group of suffer from a lack of intention. Intention while speaking is like a light switch. A light switch can either be or or off, but not on the and off. The middle ground territory prevents the light from fully turning on. Likewise, when you speak, speak. When you don't want to speak, don't speak. Being in the awkward middle ground territory creates a voice filled with resistance. Others will often cut off you because they feel like they are doing you a favor. Moral of all of this is to increase your signal so the noise naturally just falls away. When you are capable of saying what's important, spotting what's unimportant seems obvious. What do you stand for? What a vague question this title is. When a question is too general, it can either lead to added confusion, stunning insights. Let's do our best to reach the latter category. My view of standing for something is having a few core principles. The core principles are something that cannot be negotiated with. These are the non negotiable. A certain segment of people who have been sold on a YOLO life may find having a few baseline principles to be a burden. Why would I create rules for myself? This will make me feel limited. You only live once, yellow. They think. I want to answer the concern above with a story about creativity. Regarding the Armani Talk brand, I have to do a lot of creation. This ranges from the creation of blogs, YouTube videos, tweets, emails, books, masterclass, speeches, podcasts, etc. From the outside, these books like the day of someone who has zero time to do anything else. It's either that or this the day of a highlight creative individual. I don't consider myself naturally creative. I consider myself systematic. I believe the process of creativity is a system rather than random light bulb movement. Yes, there are light bulb movements, but what exists before that? Light bulb movements is whole bunch of movement from my end. As I continued with the Armani Talk brand, I wrote a tweet on the day that just came flashing before my eyes. Guess this was a light bulb. It was a tweet I created that said, do two or three of your most difficult tasks before checking your phone in the morning. This was a game changer. With a little tweet like this, my behavior altered. Now there was a set routine for creation. Every morning, go to gym, hard task number one, create 2 3 hours, hard task number two. What I noticed was that there were boundaries for creativity at that moment. Rather than allowing inspiration to strike, wherever it feels like striking, now I told the inspiration that it needed to strike at a certain time slot. Too many artists having a schedule may seem lucid. Creativity is the best when there is no schedule, they think. I also thought that for the longest time. However, what I noticed was that when I set an assigned time zone to be creative, I systemize I systemize the process of thinking out of word thoughts rather than being controlled by in the mind. The mere process of guiding the mind for a set time made me the master. This little hack has made it way easier to be creative nowadays. How does this tie into having core principles? Well, in similar pattern, it seems like core principles weigh us down and restrict our movements. While it allows us to be free, imagine how much the average booba waste on its decisions because they never took the time to create their core principles. Let's say there are two individuals, Emulo and Murukius. Emulo goal is to learn from the world and be lifelong student. One of his principles is to learn from all sources that are congruent with his principles while maintaining curiosity. Curiosity is especially important for Emilio. On the other hand, Mercurius has a zero principle. One day, a popular count that Emilio and Mercurius love on Twitter tweet something that both vehemently disagree with. Due to Emilio baseline principles, he can just ignore the specific tweet and go about his day. Due to Mercurius' lack of principles, he spent the whole day wondering, do I keep listening to him? Do I second guess everything he tweeted earlier? Why did he write this tweet? Everything else was going so smooth. Decisions. Not finding out what you stand for will cause someone to create narrative your mind. Therefore, having few core principles never hurts. Finding this core principle is a journey. It's like trying to find a few needles in a haystack. It's like finding a treasure chest in a haunted forest. It's like a Dragon Ball Z character trying to locate the Dragon Balls from around the planet. Wait, am I the only Dragon Ball Z fan? Awkward, right? When you do find those principles, there will be a confident tone behind your voice. The world changes, but your principles don't. Those are simply non negotiable. Creating your voice. The process of creating your voice is very bumpy process, a process which constantly needs to be refined. If you were to ask me to define the essential basic of topic like creative writing, I could define in four words. Write like you talk. You may hear that it's only four words and make the error in thinking that low number of words needed to describe the act implies that the act is easy. Authors spend decades trying to write like how they talk. It's one of the most challenging act out there. I say that to say this, have the right expectation for yourself. The goal is to keep the process of externalizing going no matter how awkward you sound in the beginning stage. Finding what you stand for and increasing the signal above the noise builds. Thick skin, introspection skills, empathy. Along with other soft skills, keep your eyes on the bigger picture. Facebook has a feature called See Your Friendship. This is the feature where you go on a friend's account and see all your past conversations together. When I look at way I used to type, I cringe. No way did I actually write that. Writing is one of the best, but hearing how you used to speak has even a higher level of discomfort. There was a semester when I was uh, pleasing a fraternity and was falling behind on my grades. There was a final group project that I needed to pass, otherwise, I would fail the class. Up until that point in the semester, all other numbers were picking up my slack. As we age closer to the deadline, my team members say that I need to create the YouTube video. They will give me all the talking points. All I need to do is go through a bunch of PowerPoint slides and talk into microphone. Sure, any dummy could do that. Well, this dummy did it. I sealed my A for the semester in one of the most difficult class. As I was going through YouTube recently, that YouTube channel came up in my mind and I decided to search for it. After looking for some time, I found the channel. I eagerly pull up the idea of college presentation of me talking, and there I was sounding like straight up wimp. You couldn't believe I used to talk like that. Surprisingly, this is a beautiful problem to have. Creating your voice in world where people are finding their voice or are being spoon-fed, their voice is honorable. Understand many ideas may change. Understand your delivery may change. Ultimately, have the right paradigm. It is all about the evaluation from being a so and so communicator to becoming a confident communicator. Enjoy the process. Articulation chamber. This chamber is your emotional idea. Chamber, wow, I'm really making this sound scary. Let me lighten up. Articulation zone, that sounds bland. Articulation chamber it is. The main purpose of this chamber is for you to create your voice. In the last part, we began the journey of creating your value. You started the journey of becoming a polymath who built network of some sort. Well, then you have a place to look at when you are trying to find points to articulate. Thoughts which are felt in the mind are forgotten in the mind. Your goal in this number or in a chamber is to create a content about your journey. It can be private, public, or private and public content. With Armani Talk, it started off with a journal and couple of speeches. As the journal and speeches started to build up, I thought, why not journal on Twitter about my speeches? Initially, the account was based around providing public speaking insight and helping others conquer speech anxiety. My audience members resonated with the tweets because it was a real world look into the behind the scenes of public speaking. It looked like I was creating content for others, but for myself, I was simply living in my own articulation chamber, aiming to see where I stood on a certain ideas. As the Armani Talk brand continued to evolve, I went from a predominant public speaking account to now a communication skill account. Topic I expanded onto were social skills, storytelling, emotional intelligence, creativity, and level up mindset. Along with expanding on Twitter, I expanded further to YouTube, podcast, and blogging. By leading with the intention of creating ideas for the articulation chamber first, I stayed away from the typical social media mindset of chasing followers and likes. It was game of serving myself first and others second. Luckily, this strategy built a niche group of people who follow my account. As you can tell, the articulation chamber goes where your creativity allows it to go. Just know that you must put in the work. There are people out there who are naturally gifted. Communication, maybe they don't need to take their speaking skills to the gym. Rather than asking why not them but me, don't ask anything at all and get to work. Different people have a different strengths and areas of improvement. We cannot quit tell how this person build their articulation skill. Maybe that's question we can ask them later on. Now it's the game of creating your own chamber. View it as a game. Imagine if Benjamin Franklin had a podcast, Abraham Lincoln with a YouTube channel, Genghis Khan doing Instagram lives. The mere thought of that is a surreal and a bit spooky at the same time. We are living in the golden age of information technology, and very few are capitalizing on it. Information technology tools used to communicate are a part of culture, like writing and driving is. Rather than fight with it, maybe it your servant. I recommend starting a private YouTube channel mainly because YouTube covers visual and audio, which allows you to watch your content back later and see yourself grow in real time. This method allows you to build added confidence in your body language and improve your tonality. You can always make this channel public later if you want. Alongside that, a journal helps as well. Now you have introduced a written element to your chamber. This is just a suggestion. Ultimately, how you design your articulation chamber is completely up to you. It's a creative process with three targets in mind: articulate ideas, polish ideas, repeat. Finally, putting it all together. In this section, we discuss the art of creating your voice. This is highly systemized approach which allow us to stand for something. The process of standing for something is the process of finding core principles which shape your identity. Your journey for finding those principles is a journey to the say the least. Luckily, since you have begun the journey to become the modern day polymath, there are tons of experiences within your grasp that you can take the time to clarify. This is where the articulation chamber comes in. We create our personal laboratory with the sole intention of externalizing our ideas from the mind to external world. How we externalize is up to us. It can be private, public, a little bit of both. The bottom line is that externalizing is taking place. Through the process of externalizing, a person not only create their values, but now they are able to express their value with the utmost clarity. Clarity can never be bought, it must be earned. A billionaire who mumbles is simply a billionaire who mumbles. Until he looks in the mirror and say he needs a fix his mumbling, he most likely won't. He may not want to fix it in the first place. He is already wealthy man. That's not the point. The point is that communication skills are always on. Make the articulation chamber a part of your life. Find moments in the week when you will go and articulate whether you feel like it or not. Now, clear communication is not something that is wished for. It's something that we reverse engineer ourselves into. Yeah, all right. So here we finish our part four, and we will be continuing our part five, that is perfectly imperfect. So thank you so much for being a part of this series, and yeah, we are going to finish this. Thank you so much.